G'day F1 fans. Being a Formula One driver, you are expected to perform and naturally under the pump every single race. And it's of our opinion, yes, our not so expert opinion, that there are potentially 3 drivers that come to Miami with the aim to drive to survive. But Mick, these 3 drivers we've come up with, probably not a secret amongst a lot of F1 fans, and that is Franco Colapinto, Alex Albon, and Esteban Ocon. And naturally, saying those names, we will get some of those fan bases frothing or, maybe a few comments that will be thrown our way.
Well, we like the comments, good or bad. Keep them coming in. For us, I believe that these 3 are the 3, like you said, man, under the most pressure, coming into, I guess we call it, for these 3 guys at least, a complete reset and a complete start to the 2026 season.
Now, I would say out of those 3, the one that is generally under threat as far as potentially not having a seat next year is clearly the Argentinian Franco Colapinto. It has been a tough gig for Franco, coming in after 6 or 7 rounds last year to replace Jack Doohan. The issue with Franco right now is that he is not quite hanging with Pierre Gasly. Now, we did see a good result where he got his first points for Alpine in China, I believe it was, which was a great result for him, but he was still quite a fair bit off the pace of Pierre, which is a bit of a worry. That's really the issue now, is that comparison with Gasly, who was, driving lights out.
You could probably say last year you can give him a reprieve in terms of didn't score a championship point or didn't get any really good results compared to his teammate, but you never really closed that gap. And that's the worrying thing for me, because if you can close that gap to Gasly, more often than not, you've seen what Gasly's able to do. More often than not, you're going to be able to capitalise and get similar sort of results, especially this season, given the regulations and given how competitive they are compared to last year. You're going to be in the mix. And we saw it. We saw he did a great job in China.
China, he just missed out on Q3 as well.
Yeah. He was solid in China, man. That's where the issue lies with Franco Colapinto. Good in China, then has 2 or 3 races where he's not on it. And when your teammate, Pierre Gasly, yes, he's been in the team longer, yes, he has more experience, but is doing what he's doing, it shows that the car is capable.
Yeah, I mean, you could give him some leeway last year because that was a tough gig coming in, replacing Doohan. I think it was after Miami.
Yeah, and the car was shit.
And the car was the worst car on the grid.
Yeah, it was a dog. Absolutely.
And Gasly getting some of those points, I mean, he was the only point scorer for Alpine last year. They were on the back of some absolute magnificent drives as well.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't look at it that he didn't score points last year as a bad thing. It's purely there were too many mistakes, too large of a gap between Gasly.
Yeah.
Now, he did come out of the summer break last year and it seemed like there was a level of improvement, especially after I think when Flavio made it pretty clear he was there for the rest of the season. It was almost like pressure was lifted off his shoulders, which is good for any driver, right? You want to know how many races have I got. And
that's what led to his extension for this year.
Yeah, exactly.
He started to come good
in
that last part of the season.
Yeah. The problem was he just hasn't had enough back-to-backs. It's like one good result, a couple of flat results, good result, flat, show potential, flat. Yeah. So he is, in our opinion, probably the driver at the most risk for retaining his seat. And there is already, you're starting to see it, the mumblings and the rumblings and the rumors starting to prop up again regarding the future there. And because the car is more competitive now and Gasly will be getting a whole lot more top 10s, it's going to put all that added pressure on if you can't start to deliver those. So I think the rumors will ramp up. It'll go back into that whole state of from Miami to summer break now. I believe it's around 8 races.
Yeah.
And this is going to be, I think, and I believe you probably think along the same way, quite a defining career moment for Colapinto into that midsummer break.
And because one of the drivers we've spoken about who's under pressure, that team, both drivers are off contract at the end of the year, and Alpine are probably sitting back and looking and going, well, hey, look, right now we have a more competitive car than what you have. How would you like to come and have a crack in our car?
Well, before we go on to that certain person who I believe it's Mr. Albono you're talking about.
But there's even Carlos Sainz.
Well, exactly. And this is the issue with 2026 and so many drivers coming off contract. Silly season is going to be absolutely wild. Now,
Just don't think Briatore's not going to be sitting there having a look at those two, given the position where that car's at, and going, boys.
Quick question. The stake that he's looking to sell in Alpine, what was the percentage of that again?
Was it 25%?
Yeah, it's
or
definitely
20%?
not a majority or anything like that, is it?
No, it's like, I think it's either 20 or 25. I can't remember the exact figure.
But in saying that, depending on who's coming in, whether the rumours, if we've got Horner, we've got Toto, then there's
the web.
the actual Mercedes, and I think
Yeah.
BYD in China. That can bring in personnel changes and drivers. Even though it's not a majority, there's still negotiation there. You just never know. So, poor old Franco, he needs to perform. I have faith in you, Franco. I think Mick has faith in you, Franco. We would love to see you absolutely nail the next 8 races.
We want you to stay in Formula One.
Yeah.
We've seen how fast you can be.
Yeah.
We need to see it more consistently, unfortunately. But we're on your side, man.
On your side. Yeah, so all those Argentinian fans, ease up with the threats in the comment section. We like your guy. We want to see him succeed. Even if he did replace one of our guys, we do want to see him succeed. Now, let's go to Alex Albon. Now, straight off the cuff, I don't think Alex Albon's career is at risk in the sense of what we see with Franco Colapinto. We know he's extremely capable. He's a damn good driver. The issue with Alex right now is, yes, I've beaten this like a dead horse. Plenty of times I've mentioned this. The Red Bull saga. It's a long time ago, but we did get a glimpse of Alex's mental state at the time. They raced me so hard. It was clear as day on the radio. Great start to the season at Williams last year. Then it all fell apart. Yes, there was definitely a bit of bad luck. There's always bad luck. The issue with bad luck is that it compounds into your confidence. And if you are low on confidence and you start to overdrive the car and your teammate starts getting the better of you, the new guy that comes in that's a race winner, came from Ferrari, there's definitely that added pressure. Because let's face it, no disrespect to Logan Sargent.
We don't even have to say it.
Sargent struggled massively. So, if you have a teammate next to you that is struggling, perhaps you are being elevated to a level that maybe is slightly artificial in that sense.
Yeah.
But he really needs to turn it around. Like we've talked about, there was that statistic that came out a few weeks back regarding, I think from summer break last year, I believe it was, Carlos Sainz had scored 50-odd points for Williams and Albon was in single digits.
Yeah.
That's not a good swing. And already when you're looking at the start of the season, it kind of feels the same. Yes, Carlos did pick up those points for Williams. It's definitely not a point-scoring machine this year. There was an element of luck with reliability issues with cars at the front, but he was there to pounce. He was there to get the job done. Haven't quite seen that from Alex yet.
Yeah, and I mean, you could probably say a little bit this year. Was it China, the reliability issues?
Yep.
But we saw the pressure. I think the first time I really noticed it, qualifying Azerbaijan, going into turn 1, hit the inside concrete barrier.
Yes, I remember now.
On his fast lap.
Yep.
Then he made the mistake in Las Vegas in qualifying as well, was it?
Yeah.
Pretty sure it was.
Rings a bell.
Yeah. So we agree. His career, he's not under pressure. Like, he's not going to lose a seat in Formula One, 100%. I actually feel like it might be time for him to switch teams. I think a change of team might actually do him the world of good, because he has been at Williams for quite a while now. Williams was the perfect opportunity for him to not save his career, but resurrect his career. And he did a solid job of that at Williams, and we saw the start of last year. Maybe might be a good time now. I think somewhere like Alpine would be perfect for it.
The only issue I see with Alpine is Flavio Briatore.
Yep.
He's not the patient sort. The issue I've got now with Albon is he's got enough experience and he's good enough to hold a seat. The issue where I think he's done damage is I don't think we ever see him in a top team again.
Oh, yeah. I
think that's
agree.
where the damage is. And
Yeah.
even this year, I think it was the last race, maybe Japan, like on the radio, there were elements of it was like that self-doubt again.
Yeah, like it was, yeah, there was
Sort
like
of coming in,
frustration.
frustration.
I've been telling you about this for how long now, and you're not listening to me. Like, it's just my driving style. So,
Yeah. You're sensing it again. You're just sensing it again. And I just think if you're a top team and, you know, you have access to this data and all the stuff and behind the scenes, you are probably questioning maybe just that. He just lacks that mental edge. Such a nice guy, man. It's like his demeanor is so likable. Maybe he just doesn't have that turn it on ruthlessness that perhaps he just needs. Maybe he just lacks it a bit.
Yeah.
It's easy. Look, it's easy for us to say from the outside looking at it.
Yeah, and that, look, if the trend continues and he has a season similar to like we saw at the end of last year, right, and it continues throughout the whole season, and at the moment you're going to say it's not going to get any better because that car is miles off where it needs to be. It's miles off being anywhere near ready to be competitive. So when it's like that, beating your teammate is even more important because you need to get the team behind you. You need them to rally behind you and go, right, you lead us in the direction.
Yeah.
You're the quicker driver. You're the one that's...
What do we need to improve?
Yeah, what do we need? And right now, I don't feel like he's getting that. And I think Sainz is getting all that
I think
love.
Sainz is becoming the alpha dog at Williams.
Yes. I mean, to be honest, you can even kind of like... Williams have that little podcasty thing that they do, and you see like when they do their own little snippets where it's the two drivers together, you kind of even get the sense that, you know, you listen to Carlos speak, man, and he's very, like, you can tell he's competitive.
I probably assume that a lot of that comes from the bloodline.
Yeah.
With Carlos Sr., being in that whole, it's been his life, that whole competitiveness, racing, watching his dad compete. I think that's something that passes down.
Yeah.
Admittedly, I don't know enough about Alex's family.
It feels like the team is starting to lean more towards Carlos.
I think the good thing with Williams, though, if you're looking at from a team principle point of view, Vowles is I think he's very patient. He's probably too patient with Logan, but he will give Albon all the time and all the tools needed to make sure Albon can get back on track.
I think Vowles will be wanting to keep both drivers, 100%. He's going to throw everything at them for both of them to stay. But I just think it might be time for Alex to move on. And if you're going to move, you're going to want to move to a more competitive team. And I think him and Gasly would be very similar.
I think that'd work.
I think it would work really well. Williams was perfect. It helped save his career and keep his reputation intact. But right now...
He needs parity with Carlos.
Yeah.
Well, Alex Albon fans at home, let us know what you think. Are you on the same page or are we completely way off? We do need Alex on the grid. I think he's going to be on the grid for 2027. It's not an issue. All right, let's move on to the third driver.
Someone who I don't think is locked in.
Esteban is a tough one. It's a really tough one. He's a race winner, plenty of experience, on his day, great driver. But unfortunately, at the moment, the move to Haas, which was clearly Haas going, we need some experience. We need a guy that's a proven race winner because we're going to put him alongside our capable rookie. And what has happened over there?
Oh, bruh.
Not looking great when Ollie Behrman starts to, you could say, consistently get the better of you.
It's the qualifying.
Yeah. Yeah, he has had a lot of bad luck. I must admit, Ocon has had his fair share of bad strategy, bad luck, things not falling his way.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at last season, right, Grand Prix head-to-head was 12-12. So that probably gave him a little bit of leeway. But then you look at...
But that's against a rookie too.
Yeah, but then you look at qualifying, man. 14-10. Then 4-2 in the sprints. Then Behrman beat him in the sprint races 4-2. It should, realistically, it should be the other way around.
Yeah, there's no excuses to be beaten by a rookie, I think, in Formula One. When did he come into Formula One? He's got 10 plus years.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I think he came in that first season at one of those obscure teams that no longer exist. Not HRT. Was it HRT? Not Marussia? One of them. And he did a partial season.
Yeah.
Because I think he was affiliated with Mercedes at the time. So Esteban, he came with a lot of promise and he probably hasn't quite fulfilled all of it. But he's very capable. We know how good he can be.
Yeah.
I mean, what was the standings last year between them, points?
Behrman finished 13th, Ocon 15. Look, there was only,
3 points in it, 41 to 38.
Yeah, 41 to 38. So on paper, it probably doesn't look so bad. But when your team principal comes out and goes, in terms of sporting results, we expected a lot more. That's quite telling.
Publicly.
Yeah.
Said publicly.
Yeah. And then he's always seemed to have, I haven't really seen too much of the relationship between him and Ollie. But then you think back to Gasly, then Checo Perez as well. I think he might be getting a bit of a reputation. And I feel like, unfortunately for him, if he doesn't make this work, he's definitely not going to go up the grid. I don't see anywhere else. I don't feel like Audi would take him. Maybe Cadillac, just saying maybe they might want to move Perez or Bottas on and maybe get someone a little bit younger with close to the same amount of experience. But then, then there's the American driver tie-ups and stuff like that. You just don't know. So I don't see, I feel like he's burnt his path up and down the grid.
He's becoming just like a dependable backup option in a way.
Is he even that, though? What's happening to him in Haas, one, is making Ollie look amazing and is probably tarnishing his reputation up and down that grid.
Straight out of the box this year, Ollie Behrman sitting in 7th place with 17 points. And
it's 2-1, right, in the races?
I believe it is. And Ocon has 1 point at the moment.
Yeah, and the only reason he got that point was because his teammate had a monster of an accident. And look, and unfortunately, I feel like this season is probably not going to get any better because he does not sound comfortable with this current regulation of car.
Well, that's the issue.
He's even said he feels like there's so much going on. It feels a little bit overwhelming.
Understandable, but you are the experienced guy. You have to adapt to this.
Yeah, it's understandable, but when your younger teammate is doing it and seems to be doing it quite comfortably, then it starts raising probably more questions than answers.
Esteban, again, love to see you turn it around and monster the
yeah.
rest of the season. But
100%.
the season coming up for all these three drivers feels very much a not make or break.
in the
Well, it's
road.
make or break for Colapinto.
To be fair, I would probably even put Esteban in there. Because if he continues to get outpaced by Ollie, which I think he will, Komatsu's got to have a serious look.
What may save him? Let's say Esteban has a pretty substandard year. Ollie is a star over there. The only thing that I can see that would save Esteban at this point in time is if Hamilton retires and Ferrari go, we need Ollie. We want to promote Ollie. Komatsu then has an issue then because it's like, well, yes, there's a lot of drivers coming off contract, of course, for 2026. But maybe it's like, well, we just need some stability through with Esteban. We know what we're going to get from him.
Yeah.
Then they can go maybe a little more high risk on the other side, maybe.
Yep.
But as far as that, if that doesn't happen, if Hamilton doesn't walk and Ollie spends another year over at Haas.
Because Ollie's got the option too, right? So you would imagine the Ferrari tie-up in the Haas, Ollie's team and probably Ferrari are going to go, look, take up the option. You're still young. There's plenty of time. By the time you get to Ferrari, you've still got 10, 15 years worth of racing left in you. Yeah, he needs to be careful because he's going to start to lose the garage. Like I feel like I said, similar with Alex.
Yeah.
The team are going to start to lean on Ollie more in terms of development than they would Esteban. Yes, Esteban has the experience. But if he's not delivering the results, they're going to start to go, well, we just need to give Ollie the car to get the job done because he's proven he can do it.
Exactly. We've got to go there because we have to speak about him because he's an Aussie. They got Jack Doohan as a reserve driver, but...
Well, 100%.
But it's hard looking at Jack and going and giving him a full-time seat just because he just didn't really... Look, love Jack. I just don't think he showed enough. A year or two outside of Formula One is a long time.
Yeah.
A long, long time. I think the best hope for Jack is if he's able to do something like what happened with Liam back in 2023. Driver, look, touch wood, no drivers get seriously injured. But maybe a driver's sick. Someone has another appendix blowout. I've seen a few of those lately. And then he gets to slot in and remind people that, hey, I'm here, I'm good enough.
Yeah.
But to come out straight out and replace someone, I just don't know. Like for a full season.
I mean, he'd have to do a smashing job in the simulator, and the data would have to show that he could probably get the job done. Like, I mean, we don't know, like different regulations compared to the car he drove last year.
Yeah.
Who knows? But
it's a very far-fetched. But hey, mate, like if an opportunity comes up and you can show your wear and, remind people that, hey, I've got a bit of experience, didn't get to show it, but I, gets an opportunity, has a good race, then...
Maybe that's what Ocon needs. Maybe Ocon does need the threat of, look, Ollie's our lock. You're not safe, mate, just because you've got a heap of experience. Ollie's gaining that experience.
Yeah.
And his ceiling is a lot higher than yours.
He needs that. Come into the office, son. Got some serious business to chat about.
Komatsu tried to give it to him.
Well, I guess that was the message publicly, right?
Yeah.
That was the kick up the arse. So,
yeah.
Well, look, 3 races into the season, it's early days, very early days, but we've seen Ollie jump out of the blocks and the guy is talented and he's only going to get better. There's a big ceiling above Ollie Behrman that needs to be filled.
Yeah.
Now, how much he wants to fill of that, time will tell. But the guy has confidence, young, quick, confident. That is dangerous for someone like Esteban. He needs the rocket, square up the backside.
Yeah, he needs to turn it around. He needs to finish ahead in the championship, ahead of his teammate. If he doesn't, I think Komatsu would look at that as, well, you didn't get the job that we were expecting of you to do.
And this is why I think summer break, these next 8 races, because I think that's a lot of, that's enough. If they do give him the sit down and be like, these are the performance we expect, 8 races is enough to give an experienced driver to show us wares, to show us grit. And then come summer break, because we know a lot of decisions are made around that summer break. There's a lot of time for reflection and
time, and drivers sitting around twiddling their thumbs, looking at their contracts going,
yeah.
Where am I going to be?
But a lot can change in a few months. And as we get closer to the season, this could particularly to midsummer break, this could completely change, because all 3 of these drivers have the capability. They can turn it around, and maybe they absolutely destroy their teammates over these next 8 races. And then everything we just said is bollocks.
Well, let's hope so. Let's hope so for all of them, because they all deserve to be there. It's not like one's worked harder than the other. They've all got their own stories, and they all are 100% deserving of being in Formula One and being on that grid. But it is the world of Formula One, and mediocrity will not do.
Yeah, I think that's the way to pronounce it.
That's a hard word to say, eh?
It's hard when you are mediocre yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Good one.
Oh, mate, tough.
Good one. What is it? You don't need to have a long neck to be a goose, mate.
It's really good. I've never heard that one. That's a banger. That is clearly like Aussie.
Yeah, that's
that's like
a banger.
Rude loose in the top paddock type thing. Definitely.
But what do the guys and girls at home? What do you think?
Yeah, I want to just hear the fans' opinions and the froth that is fired our way. Well, let's wrap it up. Again, if you made it this far, support the channel. We are trying to aim for our next target, which is 1,000 subs. We'd love to hit it before the season's end. Like the video, of course. As you know, it helps the algorithm and all that good stuff. I'll leave you with a final thought, as I always do, although I think you already did put out a pretty good final thought, so maybe a version 2. Make it even better.
2.
Even better. More pressure. Pressure's on you now. Pressure.
Right. We are nearly in Miami, and it will be a season reset, especially for these 3 drivers who are under the pump. Can they turn it around? Well, I guess we will find out in exactly 20 races time. Oh, 19 races time. 19 races time.
19 left, yep.
Yep, so there's 19 left for these 3 drivers to put it all on the line and
prove they belong.
And prove they belong. Exactly right. So until then, we will catch you in the next one.
Catch up. G'day, F1 fans. Bunch of professionals over here.